FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
Well, imagine God visiting our very wealthy family blessed with 6 children. 5 of them have enough to eat and comfortable rooms in which to sleep. One does not. She's often hungry and cold, and on some nights she has to sleep on the streets or in a shelter, or even be taken away from her neglectful family and placed in foster care or group homes with strangers. Imagine this rich family giving 5 of its children nourishing meals 3 times a day, snacks to fuel boundless energy, but sending the 6th child from the table into school hungry, with only 1 or 2 meals and never the dessert the other children enjoy. Imagine this very wealthy family making sure 5 of its children get all their shots, regular health checkups before they get sick, and immediate access to health care when illness strikes, but ignoring the 6th child, who is plagued by chronic respiratory infections and painful toothaches which sometimes abscess and kill for lack of a doctor or a dentist. Imagine this family sending 5 of their children to good, stimulating preschools and making sure they have music and swimming lessons after school, but sending the 6th child to unsafe daycare with untrained caregivers responsible for too many children, or leaving her occasionally with an accommodating relative or neighbor or oldest sibling, or even all alone. Imagine 5 of the children living in homes with books and families able to read to most of their children every night, but leaving the other child unread to, untalked, and unsung to, unhugged, or propped before a television screen or a video game that feeds him violence and sex and racially and gender-charged messages, intellectual pablum, interrupted only by ceaseless ads for material things beyond the child's grasp. Imagine this family sending some of their children to high-quality schools in safe neighborhoods with enough books and computers and laboratories and science equipment and well-prepared teachers, and sending the 6th child to a crumbling school building with peeling ceilings and leaks and lead in the paint and asbestos, and old books and not enough of them, and teachers untrained in the subjects they teach and with low expectations that all children can learn, especially the 6th child. Imagine most of the family's children being excited about learning and looking forward to finishing high school, going to college, and getting a job, and the 6th child falling further and further behind grade level, not being able to read, wanting to drop out of school, and being suspended and expelled at younger and younger ages because no one has taught him to read and compute or diagnosed his attention deficit disorder, or treated his health and mental health problems and helped him keep up with his peers. Imagine 5 of the children engaged in sports and music and arts, and after school and summer programs and camps and enrichment efforts, and the 6th child hanging out with peers or going home alone because mom and dad are working or are in prison or have run away from their parenting responsibilities and escaped in drugs and alcohol, leaving him alone or on the streets during idle non-school hours and weeks and months, at risk of being sucked into illegal activities and the prison pipeline or killed in our gun-saturated nation. Well, this is our American family today, where 1 in 6 of all of our children lives in poverty, in the richest nation on earth, more than 40% in extreme poverty, and we've had an increase of 200,000 children in extreme poverty over the last year, and that was before this economic downturn. It is not a stable, healthy, economically sensible, or just family. Our failure to invest in all of our children before they get sick or drop out of school and get into trouble is morally indefensible and extremely costly. Every year we let 13 million children live in poverty, costs $500 billion in lost productivity and the cost of crime and health denial. You cannot hurt others, especially children, without consequences. And contrary to popular stereotypes, America's 6th child is more than twice as likely to live in a working family than to be on welfare, is more likely to be white than black or Latina, and is more likely to live in a rural or suburban area than in an inner city. But black and Hispanic children are at far greater risk of being poor and of entering the cradle to prison pipeline.